Welcome to the Apple Daily News. This podcast is created by Generative AI. Today is June 28, 2024. Links to all stories can be found in the episode notes. Python developers are facing rejections from Apple's App Store due to an upgrade from Python 3.11 to 3.12. The issue stems from Apple's macOS App Store automatically rejecting apps containing the string ITMS services, which is used for installing other apps from Apple's iTunes Store. Despite the lack of explanation from Apple, developers are working on a solution that may be implemented in Python 3.13. Discussions among Python developers have focused on accommodating App Store review processes and whether compliance should be a design goal for CPython. Various solutions have been proposed, including obfuscation, configuration changes, and adding a build time option to address the rejection issue. The debate also includes considerations about the transparency of App Store review processes and the potential need for regulatory intervention to ensure fairness. Apple recently published a white paper titled Longevity by Design to explain its principles for designing products with a balance between durability and repairability. The document includes policy changes such as expanding the self-service diagnostics tool to 32 European countries, allowing True Tone feature activation on third-party screens, and providing battery statistics for third-party batteries later in 2024. Apple also announced that used Apple parts will be as easy to use as new parts in select products. The company's document emphasizes the importance of reliability in hardware to maximize product lifespan and highlights its unique combination of software support, resale value, and focus on preventing common device failures. Apple's stance on repair policies is influenced by its scale and the broader impact of its design choices. The document addresses the charging port on iPhones as a case study to justify bundling parts together for lower carbon emissions. Apple's position on repair is particularly relevant as various states and countries are considering bills to regulate repair practices. Apple has recently rejected PC emulators on the iOS App Store, specifically targeting emulators for retro PC games. The rejection came after a 2-month review process for the DOSBox-based MS-DOS emulator, iDOS. The rejection was based on Apple's rule that only allows retro game console emulators on the App Store. This decision affects developers like Chaoji Li, the developer of iDOS, and the developer of the iOS Virtual Machine app, UTM. The distinction between retro game console emulators and PC emulators has raised questions about Apple's reasoning and policies. Users interested in running retro PC games on iOS devices may need to find alternative methods, such as using iOS remote desktop apps or accessing games through web browsers. The rejection of PC emulators on the iOS App Store has sparked discussions about Apple's control over software availability on its platform and potential regulatory implications. Apple has informed emulator developers that they are allowed to create apps for retro games, but not entire operating systems. This decision came after the rejection of DOS emulator iDOS and multi-OS emulator UTM from the App Store due to a new rule added to comply with the European Union's Digital Markets Act. The rule in question, Section 4.7, permits some software like video game emulators to access and download content outside their designated container area. However, Apple rejected both emulators, stating that the rule does not apply to them. The developers of UTM-SE mentioned that Apple's reasoning was that PC is not a console, leading to the rejection of their app. Apple's decision may be related to security concerns, as emulating entire operating systems could introduce significant security risks. The rejection of these emulators comes amidst accusations from the EU that Apple violated the DMA by not allowing app developers to direct users outside the App Store for purchases. Apple has introduced new generative AI features, but they are not yet available to users outside of Apple. These features will only work on the iPhone 15 Pro due to the need for on-device processing. Apple's approach to generative AI differs from the AI maximalist view, as they see generative AI as a technology, not a product. Apple's foundation models are designed to provide context-specific features without a visible chatbot interface. They are focusing on integrating generative AI into various aspects of their ecosystem, leveraging user context to power these features. Apple is also partnering with OpenAI to utilize their ChatGPT model for certain tasks. The competition in the generative AI space is intense, with various companies like Google and Microsoft incorporating LLMs into their products. Apple is taking a different approach by integrating generative AI as a core feature across their devices. They are emphasizing the importance of building features on top of generative AI technology. The future of generative AI remains uncertain, with questions about product-market fit and evolving use cases. Apple's strategy of integrating generative AI into their ecosystem raises the question of whether this technology will become a general-purpose tool or remain a feature within specific products. The landscape of generative AI is rapidly changing, with potential breakthroughs that could reshape the market. The article delves into the intricate details of the graphics capabilities of the Apple II computer, focusing on its various modes such as text mode, high-res mode, low-res mode, and color capabilities. It explains how the Apple II's graphics system worked, including details about memory layout, pixel clocks, color signals, and the color palette. The article also discusses the differences between the Apple II and other computers of its time, like the Commodore 6E20, in terms of graphics handling. It highlights the technical challenges faced by the Apple II's graphics system, such as synchronization with the video signal and addressing memory efficiently. The article also touches on the historical significance of the Apple II in the realm of vintage computing and its enduring appeal to enthusiasts. The article discusses Apple's decision to withhold Apple Intelligence features from EU countries, which has been described as a stunning open declaration of anti-competitive behavior by Margrethe Vestager, the EU's vice president and competition regulator. Apple announced that it would exclude EU countries from receiving certain AI features due to regulatory uncertainties stemming from the Digital Markets Act. Vestager criticized Apple's move, stating that it shows Apple's intention to disable competition where it already has a stronghold. The decision has raised concerns about anti-competitive behavior and the impact on EU users. Apple has not yet responded to these criticisms. The article discusses how a group of heart doctors is claiming that Apple intentionally degraded its watch operating system to limit competition in the heart tracking market. The doctors argue that changes made by Apple to its watchOS 5 negatively impacted the ability of third-party apps, like AliveCore's Smart Rhythm, to access full heart rate data, reducing their effectiveness in monitoring heart health. AliveCore had previously sued Apple for antitrust violations, alleging that Apple was trying to monopolize the personal heart rate monitoring market. The doctors argue that Apple's changes resulted in sporadic heart rate measurements instead of continuous monitoring, potentially leading to missed signs of health issues like strokes. The doctors believe that Apple's changes were anti-competitive and delivered worse healthcare. The ongoing legal battle between AliveCore and Apple involves multiple lawsuits and patent infringement claims related to health monitoring technology. Apple has faced various legal challenges regarding its health monitoring features on the Apple Watch, including a recent case where it had to remove blood oxygen tracking capabilities from its devices in the US. Apple has announced a change in policy regarding third-party parts for iPhones. Previously, if third-party or second-hand parts were installed, certain features like battery health metrics and True Tone would be disabled. Now, Apple promises to enable these features for third-party batteries and screens, as long as the part can handle it. This change will also allow repair shops to stock original Apple parts without needing to submit to onerous terms. The shift in policy is in response to laws passed in Oregon, Colorado, and the EU that demand Apple to go further in enabling third-party parts. The announcement is seen as a big win for independent and DIY repair communities, although some features like Face ID and Touch ID still remain disabled for third-party repairs. Apple's report, titled Longevity by Design, outlines their commitment to repairability and serviceable batteries. The company also promises to support customers who choose third-party repair services and parts. However, concerns remain about the specifics of enabling third-party parts and potential limitations based on security and privacy reasons. Independent repair advocates are still pushing for a path to re-enable Face ID for third-party repairs, highlighting the importance of security measures while allowing for repairability. The report signals Apple's intention to comply with right-to-repair legislation, with changes expected to go into effect later in 2024. The shift in policy aligns with laws passed in various states, including California and Minnesota, covering a significant portion of the US population. The announcement is seen as a step towards a more repairable future and is celebrated as Repair Independence Day. Bijou.fm is a platform that offers beautiful data visualizations for Last.fm and Spotify Premium users to analyze their music listening history. Users can access the service through a web app or iOS devices. The platform provides exclusive features for iOS and Apple TV users, including widgets, notifications for top charts changes, and the ability to explore custom time periods. Other features include a minimalist design, personalized themes, AI-powered insights, gender and nationality analysis, and the ability to explore one's full Last.fm timeline. Users can integrate Bijou.fm with their Apple devices to access these features. Overall, Bijou.fm aims to provide a visually appealing and insightful way for music enthusiasts to explore and understand their listening habits. TextTime is a unique clock app that presents time in words, allowing users to customize the formatting and personalize their experience. By breaking away from ordinary clocks and numerical displays, TextTime infuses each moment with a unique flair. Users can enjoy a clock app without advertisements and personalize their time displays with 0, morning, and afternoon phrases, prefixes, and suffixes. This app revolutionizes how time is told by offering customizable features and unique word displays. Overall, TextTime provides a personalized and standout way to express time in your own words. Apple's recent integration of AI into its devices is being praised for its practical and helpful approach, in contrast to the grandiose promises often associated with artificial intelligence. The writer shares a personal experience of using AI to bake a pie, highlighting the efficiency and simplicity it brought to the task. Apple's philosophy focuses on reducing cognitive burden by integrating AI seamlessly into existing apps like Siri, Notes, and writing tools. This approach aims to enhance user experience and productivity by providing assistance where it is most needed. The company's incremental rollout of AI features has been criticized for being slow, but is seen as a thoughtful strategy to ensure effectiveness. The writer emphasizes the importance of AI applications that cater to specific, immediate needs, rather than aiming for revolutionary transformations. Apple's AI strategy is commended for its focus on practicality and enhancing human capabilities, setting a new standard for the industry. That's all for today's episode of the Apple Daily News. Be sure to check the episode notes for links to all the stories we've covered. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.